What's up, y'all? So, I want to show you how to start and scale your real estate business. If you want to get into real estate and you want to scale as fast as you can, I want to show you that in this video. So, 3 years ago, I was sitting in a prison cell, and now today, I own like $750,000 worth of real estate. It sounds unbelievable, but it was simple. It wasn't easy, but it was simple. And the way I started is simply by getting my living expenses down to zero. I bought a duplex, I lived in one, and the tenant paid the mortgage. So therefore, I had no living expenses. So now I could start saving money. But I know a lot of people want to know how to start. So I want to go over that with you. Simply find the deal. That's the first thing you got to do is just find a deal. And after that, you sign a purchase agreement. Like the thing that I did was we signed it ourselves. We didn't go to a lawyer. We didn't do none of that stuff. We didn't go through a realtor, none of that. It was just a guy trying to sell a building and a guy trying to buy a building. It was just a gentleman's agreement. Hey, I give you $10,000. In 3 years, I will give you the rest of it. And that's what we did. We signed an agreement. So anytime you sign something, that's you can hold that up in court. So we signed the agreement, and in 3 years, I had to come up with his money. So you got to remember, I was fresh out of prison. I didn't have good credit. I didn't have 2 years on my job. And those is the type of things that your bank is going to look for. So therefore, you got to be creative when you're trying to finance these buildings. So over the 3 years he gave me, I built my credit. I saved up some more money. So then when it was time to refinance the house, now I can go in without a problem. Refinancing is basically like he gave me 3 years to pay him back. So I refinanced a loan through a bank. I got a loan from a bank. You hear people talking about they got all of this real estate. We're not going in buying all of this stuff with cash. It doesn't work like that. We borrowing to make money. We borrow money and make money with the money that we didn't borrow. So in my book, I talk about assets and liabilities. So we borrowing money to buy assets. The assets will pay for the loan, right? So in my case, I went in and I bought a duplex for 95,000. I borrowed that money, and now the tenant pays the money back. So therefore, I live for free. That's how real estate works. And I did that, and I kept scaling. The way I scaled was I found another building. I found another building for 25,000, right? On when you buying buildings, you don't need the whole $25,000. That's a misconception. You only need a down payment. The banks just want to see that you got something to lose if you don't pay them their money back. You don't need the whole thing. You just need a little bit, right? So if you don't pay, the bank will take back the house and keep the little bit that you gave. So that's why they have you put down 3%, 10%. So in my second case, I put down $5,000. That's all it took. But the house was worth more than what I paid for it. The house was worth more than what I paid for it. So therefore, I had equity. And equity is simply the amount of money that the house is worth minus what you owe. So let's say, for instance, this house was worth $40,000, but I paid $25,000 for it. That means I got $15,000 worth of equity. So I can go in the bank, borrow $15,000 since my house is worth that, right? And then keep scaling. So that's how I got so many properties so quick. I borrowed my way to the top. So what I did was I borrowed that money and then went and bought some more properties. And now all of the properties are paying for themselves. I'm not coming, I don't go to work to pay for these properties. These properties pay for themselves. And that's how you see these big guys on there talking about they got $1 billion worth of real estate. They don't have $1 billion in cash. They got $1 billion worth of assets that's working for them. So 3 years ago, I was sitting in a prison cell, but now I got 750,000 worth of real estate because of this simple method right here. And it all started with like $10,000. You take the money and you leverage it. So leveraging is basically like I take $10,000. Now I got $100,000 building. So that's leveraging. Even though I only had $10,000, I'm worth $100,000 now, right? So that's how you scale. That's why they seem like they so rich and stuff like that. It's not that they just walking around with piles of cash. It's that they walking around with a whole lot of income coming in. So therefore, when they go back to the bank gonna see that, oh man, you got a lot of income. We can loan you more money. And that's the way you scale. That's the way you get from one property to 15 properties in 3 years. And that's exactly what I did. So if you go on my website, you can get the same exact purchase agreement I used. With a purchase agreement, you just walk up to the person trying to sell the house and you sign it. Who pays what, how much you pay, right? So let's say I want to sell my house for $25,000. So me and you would agree that I'm paying $25,000 for this house. I will give you $5,000 down. I will pay the rest in such and such amount of time. So it's all between the two people coming to an agreement. You don't have to have a lawyer there present. You just have to agree between two people. So you get your purchase agreement signed, and then you give them the down payment. You take your tax money and go buy that building. And now that building gonna be making money for you for the rest of your life. See, a lot of us, we like to go out and spend the money on a new car. We can't spend the money on a new car because the car is gonna break down eventually, and then you'll need a new car, right? So spend your money on assets. Spend your money on investments that's gonna make you money. And then you will never have to work again in your life. And that's the way wealth is measured. Wealth is measured in time. How long can you have this bill? How long can you make this income before you run out of money? How long can you live this lifestyle before you run out of money? That's how wealth is measured. Being rich is just having a pocket full of cash. Everybody want to be rich, but the thing is to be wealthy so you can have this money coming in forever. So now your kids can have money coming in. And that's the power of real estate. And that's the power of scaling. See, when you get a mortgage on a house, it's for 30 years. So if you have a tenant paying it back for the next 30 years, you've paid nothing out of your pocket. But that at the end of that 30 years, now you have $100,000 building that's bringing you in $2,000 a month, right? You did nothing, but I put nothing down besides the first $10,000, and now it's paying me. It's paying me every month. I'm living in one, and the tenant is paying the rent, paying the mortgage, and then that's how it's paying me once. And then after it's all paid off, now my kids are getting paid. So that's like your little factory. Your real estate will be like your factory that just keep churning out dollars forever. And that's why I push real estate so hard, especially for somebody in that's older. It's not for like the younger people. That's good and everything, but the older people, we have to leave something for our kids, right? Why not leave them something that's going to make the money? We want to leave them money, but they're going to only spend the money. Leave them something that makes money and teach them about money, educate them, and then we'll progress. They'll progress faster, right? As long as they get the education. Now that's how you scale it. To start, you simply got to find the deal. Find the deal, get out, look for sale by owner signs, look for realtor signs, and analyze it. Analyze it, see if it's a good deal. See, if you buy a property that's not making money, well then it's a liability. It's just coming out of your pocket. If you build your nice, big, beautiful house, that's coming out of your pocket. But if you find something that's producing money for you, now you creating wealth. Now you creating longevity, and that's the name of the game. It's a marathon, not a race. So that's kind of like some of the basics that I touch on about scaling and how to start it and scale it. But yeah.